All right, today we're going to be talking about back of house. See, I'll prepare for this one. There's really nothing to prepare for. We're just going to have casual talk about back of house and front of house. I'm a part of these groups, and it's really entertaining how I see these back of house and front of house go at it all the time. One of the issues that they brought up, which I found pretty interesting, was the back of house would say there was a meme and it was about a server or a bartender or even a manager ordering a meal in the middle of a rush. Let's talk about this really quick, all right? And we'll keep this one short for today. It doesn't matter. It truly does not matter what order comes up first. It's first in, first out. You get a ticket, it comes in, it's going with the flow. What's the difference between 10 tickets that a customer or a table punched in and one ticket for a server? Let me break this down for you. I know it's irritating. I've worked back of house for many, many years. That's how I started. And actually, no. I started in front of house because I was cleaning tables at first, and then it moved to back of house, which technically was back of house because I had to wash dishes. So the servers are on the floor busting their behinds, and this is not to come to defense at anyone. This is just my point of view as a front of house, back of house person and a general manager and someone who consults business owners to keep the peace and have a common discussion when it comes to these situations. And you can't be partial. So just hear me out. The servers are busting their behinds in the front of the house. All right, they're running around hustling and bustling back and forth. That's not to discredit back of house. However, you are sitting in one spot most of the time in the majority of restaurants, and you're not moving as fast or as much as the front of house. Now, granted, it's hot. Okay, it dehydrates you. You need liquids. You need food in your body. It's the same principle with the servers. They can't go 8 hours. Just hustling the entire time without any kind of nutrients in their body. They need some kind of supplement. They need something in them. They need, water, food, whatever it is. Me, I like to snack throughout my shifts, no matter, what time it is, just to keep the energy going. Now, a lot of the back of house, it's more of ego and, pride, and it's just like, oh, how dare you order during this shift? It's busy, and now you're deciding to eat. No, genuinely, some of them want to eat. They have to eat. All right, you have diabetics that are back there, so you can't be full blown out a-hole when it comes to these situations, because I've seen chefs like curse a server out because they're putting in an order for themselves in the middle of a rush, and then the server's thrown off track, starts crying. And I'm not saying that you have to have reptilian skin in this game, as I said in a previous video, but that's just not the way to do things. All right, you don't put your workmate down, and now they're everything is just thrown off from there. They're out of their rhythm. So the same way, because the cooks can't leave the line. Most of the time, can't leave the line. So how do they get their drink? It's the same thing. Hey, get me a drink. Or normally the server, depending on how long the relationship and how long the server and the chef or the cooks have been working with each other, they already know what to get them. And most of the time, sometimes it's a mutual thing. It's like, hey, I'll get you a drink. I'll give you some fries, whatever the case is. However, the same way you feel distracted because you're getting in the ticket, you're on the line doing what you have to do, and then suddenly it's like, oh, Janice wants a freaking, cheeseburger. Oh my God, why do you have to order right now? It doesn't matter. Orders are coming in regardless. Just make it as it comes and just let it go, because you're going to want something to drink, and guess what? They have to stop what they're doing to get you a drink. It's no different. All right? And cheeseburgers, especially, all these things are fast. They're not... Okay, sometimes they get a little carried away and they want special toppings and all that, and then it stops them from going to tables. And I get it. I totally see both sides. But it's still not your job to argue that. That's the manager's job to argue that. So if they put an order in, you need to tell a manager and just stop being such hard asses behind that line and making it just more of a bigger deal. It's the same thing with to-go orders and deliveries. They see a to-go order, a delivery, and they're like, oh my God, why do they have to do this in the middle of a rush? That is a part of your rush. That is your rush. That is your job. It doesn't matter if you get 10 tickets for one table and 1 ticket for a server. It's still your job. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, you have to cook. Don't matter. Another ticket? Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? You know, the thing just keeps ringing in. That's a part of the job. It's the same thing with, servers seeing a car pull up and they're like, oh my God, I have to do this. But that's a whole other story about, having to work at your job. It's like some of them look at me when I was, hands-on managing a restaurant, and they look at me like, you're making me work at my job? Or you're making me job at my work? Or what's going on here? I have to, it's like, dude, this is what you sign up for. You have to keep the roof over your head. If you have a roof over your head that you're responsible for paying, you have to keep your cell phone on. I mean, we have to have money in this society in order to survive. And in order to survive, you have to work. And if you don't want to be stuck at your job forever, then you need to further educate yourself. You have to do what I did. I'm not saying everyone can do it, but I literally got tired of working for people. And I'm not saying that I'll never do it again. I actually almost started a gig right before the pandemic. Just as a training thing. I was going to do it for 6 weeks, see how I liked it. The company was interested in me. I was interested in the company and found out great things about the company. Don't want to talk about it right now as far as going into detail what company it was, but it was a very, very great opportunity for me. And I almost stopped everything I was doing to do that. And then COVID hit and it was just like, boom, was it a sign? Who knows? So, when you have that kind of attitude where you're just so frustrated, like I said before in the last one, you need to figure out a path and figure out a way to get yourself out of there. It takes time. You can't just quit overnight, unfortunately. I've done it in the past, and it sucked for the business owner. But you have to figure out a way to get yourself out of there, further educate yourself, read books, listen to people like myself that will guide you and inspire you to take the next step, to do what you want, whether you want to be a business owner. And this is generally for any business. This is generally for any staff member. I specifically talk about restaurants because that's what I'm skilled at, and that's what I grew up doing. I've had other odd jobs here and there, doing hardwood floors, and just other odd jobs in general, painting, maintenance, landscaping, you name it, I've done it. Because unfortunately, in the state of Virginia, was my main prime time in the restaurant industry, because I was here for over a decade. At the time, during the season, you have to figure something out. So a lot of people that are servers and even cooks, it gets slow, your hours get cut, you make less money, you have to figure out a way to survive. And while you're doing that, you could figure out a way to further educate yourself, to pull yourself out of that mess. If you don't want to work for someone, don't. But you have to do it the right way. You can't just come in the kitchen and say, oh my God, how dare this ticket get rang in. Yes, it's going to happen. Sorry for the bang. But we'll leave it at that. Just a few tips every day. I just want to give you guys just some insight of things that I see and people responding and the places that I've surveyed. It's been a heck of a ride, and I'm still riding it. So you guys stick around. See you tomorrow. Take care.
All aboard!